Success is not a matter of luck. It's a matter of choice. You are closer to success than you think. It's right within your reach, but only if you make one crucial shift. What most people fail to understand is that success isn't some far-off destination. It's a process, a result of who you become, the choices you make, and the habits you form every single day. It's not about wishing or waiting for things to fall into place. It's about taking decisive action and consistently making moves in the right direction. Too many of us get trapped in the belief that success requires some huge, dramatic change or breakthrough moment. But the reality is much simpler. Small daily decisions compound over time, and before you know it, you're standing in a place you once thought was impossible. What you need to understand is that the only thing standing between you and success is what you're willing to do today. That's where the magic happens. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do right now to begin attracting the success you've been waiting for. It's about taking ownership, being disciplined, and having the courage to keep moving forward, regardless of the challenges that come your way. There's no need for endless struggle, no need to look for shortcuts or magic formulas. What you need is clarity, focus, and action. If you're ready to stop waiting for success to come to you and start making it happen, stick with me. You've already taken the first step just by pressing play. Now let's take this journey together and unlock the success that's been waiting for you all along. Number 1, stop assuming you have more time. Act now. Most people go through life thinking they have time. They wake up, go about their routine, and tell themselves they'll do something important tomorrow. They'll start working harder tomorrow. They'll chase their dreams tomorrow. But let me tell you something. Tomorrow isn't promised to anyone. If you keep waiting, if you keep thinking you'll have another chance later, you'll wake up one day and realize that all those tomorrows are gone. And what do you have left? Regret. The biggest mistake people make is assuming they have more time. They think they can put off the hard work. They believe there's always another opportunity waiting for them. But let's be honest, how many times have you told yourself you'd start tomorrow, only to find yourself in the same place a week later, a month later, a year later? And let's not even talk about 5 years later. Because if you look back at your life, you'll see moments where you could have started, moments where you could have done something great, but instead you waited. And the worst part, it wasn't because you weren't capable. It wasn't because you didn't have the resources. It was because you thought you had time. You don't have time. Time isn't something you can save up for later. It's not sitting in a bank waiting for you to use it when you feel ready. Every second that passes is a second you'll never get back. And while you're waiting, someone else is out there working. Someone else is building. Someone else is getting ahead. And that's the difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck. The successful ones don't wait. They don't sit around hoping for the right moment. They take action. They move forward even when they don't feel ready, because they understand something most people don't. Time is running out. Look at the people who are winning. Look at the people who are making things happen. They're not waiting for perfect conditions. They're not waiting until they feel motivated. They understand that success is built in the moments when others are still deciding if they should start. Because the truth is, if you don't start now, when will you? If you don't take action today, what makes you think you'll suddenly feel different tomorrow? You won't. If anything, it'll be harder. You'll have more distractions, more excuses, more reasons to put it off. And before you know it, another year will pass, and you'll be in the exact same place. The harsh reality is this: life doesn't wait for you. Opportunity doesn't knock twice. The doors that are open today might be closed tomorrow. The energy you have right now won't last forever. And the older you get, the harder it becomes to make a change. Because life starts piling up, responsibilities grow, your energy declines, and suddenly those big dreams you had, they feel impossible. Not because they are, but because you wasted too much time, thinking you had more of it. You have to start seeing time for what it really is: a limited resource. You wouldn't waste your money on things that don't matter. You wouldn't throw away something valuable without thinking. So why do it with your time? Why spend hours on distractions, on things that don't move you forward? Why waste days, weeks, even years convincing yourself that you'll get serious later? Later never comes unless you make it come. You see, success doesn't happen overnight, but it also doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you decide to act, when you stop making excuses, when you stop telling yourself you'll do it tomorrow. Because the truth is, Every day you delay is a day you lose. Every moment you hesitate is a moment wasted. And when you really understand that, when you really let that sink in, you really realize there's no time to wait. So here's the challenge. What are you going to do today? Not tomorrow, not next week, today. What action can you take right now to get closer to your goal? Because the moment you stop assuming you have more time is the moment your life starts to change. And if you commit, if you push yourself, if you stop waiting and start moving, you'll look back in 6 months and wonder why you ever hesitated. But if you don't, if you keep putting it off, a year from now, 5 years from now, you'll wish you had started today. The choice is yours. Number 2, stop blaming. Stop complaining. Fix it or forget it. There comes a time when you have to decide, are you going to spend your life blaming everything and everyone for your problems? Or are you going to do something about it? Are you going to sit around complaining about what went wrong? Or are you going to move forward? Because let me tell you something. Nobody is coming to save you. If you're waiting for life to suddenly get easier, if you're waiting for someone to come and fix everything for you, you'll be waiting forever. And the truth is, the longer you wait, the worse it gets. Too many people waste their lives pointing fingers. They blame the economy, they blame their boss, they blame their parents, they blame their past, they blame their circumstances. And what does all that blaming do? Nothing. It doesn't put money in your bank account. It doesn't improve your health. It doesn't get you any closer to success. All it does is keep you stuck. Because as long as you're blaming something outside of yourself, you're giving up your power. You're telling yourself, I can't do anything about this. I'm a victim of my circumstances. But let me tell you something. Victims don't win. People who sit around feeling sorry for themselves don't get ahead. You can either take control or you can make excuses, but you can't do both. And then there's complaining. Oh, this is a big one. People love to complain. They complain about their job, but they won't look for a better one. They complain about their relationships, but they won't fix them. They complain about their health, but they won't change their habits. Complaining is the easiest thing in the world to do. It requires no effort, no discipline, no commitment, but it's also the most useless thing you can do. Because every second you spend complaining is a second you could have spent fixing the problem or moving on from it. Here's the truth. Most people don't want to hear. If something is bothering you, you only have 2 choices. Fix it or forget it. That's it. If you can change it, do something about it. If you can't, move on. But sitting around complaining, feeling sorry for yourself, talking about how unfair life is, that does absolutely nothing. You see, life isn't fair. It never has been, and it never will be. Some people start with more advantages. Some people start with less. Some people get lucky. Some people don't. But none of that changes the fact that your life is in your hands. And every moment you spend blaming or complaining is a moment wasted. The people who win in life are the ones who take responsibility, not just for the good things, but for everything. Even the things that weren't their fault, even the things that seem unfair. They look at their situation and say, this is on me. I might not have caused it, but I'm the only one who can change it. And that's what separates them from everyone else. Because while others are waiting, while others are making excuses, they're taking action. And you might be thinking, but it's not that easy. You don't understand my situation. And you're right, it's not easy. It's hard. But so is staying stuck. So is wasting years of your life complaining about the same things over and over again. So is looking back with regret because you never took control. Life is hard either way. But if you're going to struggle for something worthwhile, struggle to improve, struggle to build something great, struggle to become someone you're proud of. Because the truth is, you always have a choice. You can either let life control you, or you can take control of life. You can let your problems define you, or you can decide to rise above them. But nothing changes until you decide that you've had enough. Enough blaming, enough complaining, enough waiting for things to magically fix themselves. So here's the challenge. The next time you catch yourself complaining, stop. Ask yourself, can I fix this? If the answer is yes, do something about it. If the answer is no, let it go. But don't sit there feeling sorry for yourself. Don't waste another second blaming the world for your problems. Because at the end of the day, the only person who can change your life is you. And the moment you take full responsibility, is the moment everything starts to change. Number 3, what you focus on grows. Choose wisely. What you focus on grows. It's a simple truth, yet it's one that so many people miss. The key to success, to happiness, to a fulfilling life, starts with the things you focus on each and every day. Because where your focus goes, your energy follows. The problem is that most people don't realize how powerful their focus is. They think their circumstances are the problem. They think the challenges they face are holding them back. But in reality, it's their focus, their mindset, that's keeping them stuck. They're focusing on the wrong things. And that's why they're not seeing the progress they want. So let me tell you this right now. You are exactly where you are because of where you choose to place your focus. And I don't say that to discourage you. I say it because you can use that power. You can change the course of your life by simply shifting what you focus on. If you want to see a change in your results, it starts with changing what you give your attention to. Think about it. When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you do? Do you reach for your phone and check your social media? Do you dive into the latest news and start the day off by reading about all the problems in the world? Or do you start by thinking about what you can achieve today? Do you think about how you can make progress in your goals, in your life, in your business? You see, most people start their day by filling their mind with the negative, with the distractions, with all the things they can't control. And then they wonder why they feel stuck or why things aren't going their way. But it's not the world around you that's causing you to feel this way. It's your focus. What you focus on grows. If you focus on the problems grow. If you focus on the things you don't have, that gap between what you have and what you want only gets wider. But if you focus on the solutions, if you focus on what you can do to move forward, then you start seeing progress. You start seeing the doors open, and you start feeling like you're on the right path. The truth is, most people are focusing on the wrong things. They focus on their problems, on their struggles, on what they lack. And as long as they do that, nothing changes. Their energy goes into worrying, complaining, and wishing things were different. But the moment you decide to focus on what's possible, on what you can control, on how you can make things better, you take back your power. And that's when everything starts to change. Here's something to consider. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. If you spend all your time thinking about the problems in your life, that's where your energy will go. You'll start putting all your effort into dealing with those problems, trying to fix them, worrying about them. And what happens when you focus all your energy on something? It grows. It gets bigger. You get more and more consumed by it. You start believing that those problems are bigger than you. But in reality, they're not. They're just a result of where your attention is going. Now imagine if you shifted your focus. Imagine if you spent your energy thinking about the solutions, thinking about what's possible, thinking about the opportunities around you. What would happen if you put all your energy into finding a way to move forward, no matter the obstacles? What would happen if you focused on growth instead of fear? If you focused on progress instead of setbacks? I'll tell you what would happen. You would start to grow. You would start to make progress. You would start to see results. People often complain about their situation. They complain about their job, their relationships, their finances. They focus on everything that's wrong and wonder why nothing ever changes. But the truth is, nothing will ever change until you change what you focus on. If you keep focusing on what's wrong, you're only going to attract more of the same. But if you shift your focus to what's right, to what you can change, to what you can improve, then you start moving in the right direction. You can change your life by changing your focus. It's that simple. But don't think it's easy. It's not. Shifting your focus takes discipline. It takes intention. It takes practice. It's easy to get caught up in what's not working, to get distracted by the negative. But if you can train yourself to focus on the positive, to focus on what's possible, to focus on the progress you can make today, then you're going to see a huge shift in your life. Let me tell you something else. What you focus on multiplies. If you focus on growth, you'll see more growth. If you focus on success, you'll attract more success. If you focus on learning, you'll find more opportunities to learn. But if you focus on failure, you'll attract more failure. If you focus on your limitations, you'll find more reasons why you can't move forward. What you focus on multiplies, and it shapes your reality. So you need to be very careful about where you direct your attention. Most people are stuck in a cycle because they keep focusing on the wrong things. They focus on their limitations instead of their strengths. They focus on the obstacles instead of the opportunities. They focus on what they don't have instead of what they can create. And that's why they stay stuck. But the moment you make the decision to focus on what's possible, to focus on what you can change, to focus on what you can create, everything shifts. Think about your goals. What are they? What do you want to achieve? Are you focusing on them every day? Are you thinking about them, talking about them, working towards them? Or are you letting other things distract you? You have to keep your focus on your goals if you want to achieve them. You have to put your energy into them, because the more you focus on your goals, the more likely you are to achieve them. The more you focus on the actions you can take, the more progress you will make. But here's the thing. Focus isn't just about thinking about something once in a while. It's about dedicating time, energy, and attention to it every single day. It's about making it a priority. If you want to achieve something, you have to think about it consistently. You have to keep it at the forefront of your mind. You have to make it a part of your daily routine. Because when you focus on something every day, it becomes a habit. And when something becomes a habit, it becomes part of your life. And that's when success happens. The most successful people in the world are successful because they have learned how to focus. They have learned how to block out distractions. They have learned how to put their attention on what matters most. And that's why they keep moving forward, while others get stuck. Now, I know that life can be overwhelming at times. I know that there are moments when it feels like everything is going wrong, and it's hard to see the way forward. But that's exactly when you need to focus the most. When things are tough, that's when you need to keep your focus on the solutions, on the opportunities, on the progress you can make. Because the more you focus on what you can do, the more you will see things start to shift. So ask yourself today, what am I focusing on? Am I focusing on the problems? Or am I focusing on the solutions? Am I focusing on what I can't do? Or am I focusing on what I can do? Am I focusing on my limitations? Or am I focusing on my strengths? Because whatever you focus on is what's going to grow. And if you want to grow, you have to focus on the right things. Remember, focus is power, and the more you focus on the things that matter, the more you'll see your life change. Focus on the solutions. Focus on the opportunities. Focus on the progress. And watch how everything begins to unfold before you. Number 4. Fear will never go away. Move forward anyway. Fear is something that everyone faces. It doesn't matter how successful you become, how much you achieve, or how confident you feel in one moment. Fear is always there. The difference between those who make it and those who don't is not the absence of fear, but the ability to keep moving forward despite it. Fear is never going to go away. It's not something you can just get over and leave behind. It's a part of the human experience. It's going to show up at every stage of your life. And if you're waiting for fear to leave, if you're waiting for the day when you feel completely fearless, I've got news for you. You'll be waiting forever. The key to success isn't to eliminate fear. It's to move forward anyway. Fear may knock on your door every morning, but the person who succeeds is the one who opens the door and walks out in spite of it. What holds most people back is not the fear itself, but the way they respond to it. People tend to overestimate fear. They think that if they feel scared, it means they're not ready, or they're not good enough. But fear is not an indicator of your readiness. It's not a sign that you're weak or incapable. It's simply a part of the process. Fear is there to remind you that you're on the edge of something important. It's there to signal that you're stepping outside your comfort zone. And it's natural to feel a little discomfort in those moments. But you cannot allow fear to be the deciding factor in your actions. Fear will never tell you the full story. It will only show you the worst-case scenario, the things that could go wrong, the potential failures. But it won't show you the growth, the learning, or the success that can come from taking action. When you choose to move forward despite the fear, you step into your power. The fear doesn't go away, but your ability to push through it becomes stronger. You start to realize that fear is not something that controls you, unless you allow it to. The secret is that you have to do it scared. You have to keep moving forward, even when you're shaking in your boots. And let me tell you something important. Fear is often a sign that you're heading in the right direction. If you're not scared, you're probably not pushing hard enough. If you're not feeling some level of fear, it means you're staying too comfortable, staying in your safe zone, and playing it small. It's time to stop waiting for fear to disappear. It's time to stop letting it paralyze you. It's time to accept that fear is going to show up, no matter what, but you can choose to move forward anyway. The more you move forward in spite of fear, the more confident you'll become. You'll start to realize that the fear doesn't define you. It doesn't control your outcome. It doesn't determine whether or not you succeed. Only you can determine that. Every successful person you look up to has felt fear. Every entrepreneur, every leader, every trailblazer, they've all faced the same thing you're facing. They've all had moments of doubt, moments of anxiety, moments where they weren't sure if they were going to make it. The difference between them and the person who stays stuck is that they didn't let fear stop them. They kept going. They kept pushing forward, no matter how scared they were. And with each step they took, they became stronger, more capable, more confident. They didn't wait for fear to vanish. They took action in the face of fear. And that's what changed everything. Fear is nothing more than a feeling, a fleeting emotion. It's not reality. But what happens when you let fear dictate your decisions is that it becomes reality. If you give in to fear, you let it control you, you avoid the things that scare you, and you never reach the next level. You never get to experience the amazing opportunities that are waiting for you just outside your comfort zone. Fear keeps you small. It keeps you stuck in the same place, doing the same thing, over and over again. But when you decide to face fear head on, you open the door to a whole new world. You step into a place where growth happens, where transformation happens, and where success happens. It's time to get real about fear. It's time to stop pretending that it's something you can avoid. The truth is, you'll never stop feeling afraid. You'll always face fear when you're taking on something new, when you're about to do something important, when you're about to level up in your life. But the key is to not let fear stop you. The key is to act in spite of it. If you're waiting for the fear to go away, you're going to be waiting for the rest of your life. It's only when you decide to move forward, even when you're scared, that you'll start to break through. When you take action in the face of fear, you begin to build resilience. Each time you take that step forward, you strengthen your ability to face challenges. Fear no longer has the same power over you. It becomes just another signal that you're growing, you're expanding, you're pushing your boundaries. The more you practice moving forward despite fear, the more natural it becomes. Eventually you'll realize that fear isn't as big and scary as you thought it was. It's just a feeling. It's just a signal that you're on the right track. You don't have to be fearless to be successful. You don't have to wait until the fear disappears. In fact, waiting for fear to go away is the biggest mistake you can make. Because the truth is, it's not about waiting for fear to leave. It's about learning to work with it. It's about acknowledging that fear will always be a part of the journey. But it doesn't have to stop you. You are stronger than your fear. You are more capable than your doubt. The fear will never fully go away, but your ability to move forward in the face of it is what will make all the difference. So take that next step. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for fear to disappear. Do it scared. Do it in spite of the doubt. Do it because you know that your success is waiting for you on the other side of that fear. And with every step you take, you'll realize that the fear was never the enemy. The real enemy was waiting, was holding back, was not taking action. The real victory comes from moving forward, in spite of fear, because that's when you truly begin to unlock your potential. Keep moving forward. Keep pushing through. The fear will never go away, but you'll be better for it. You'll be stronger for it. And most importantly, you'll be closer to your success than you've ever been before. Number 5. The work you do in silence will one day speak for itself. It's easy to get caught up in the need for validation. We all want recognition, we all want to be seen, and we all want our efforts to be acknowledged. But there's something incredibly powerful about the work you do when no one's looking, when no one's cheering you on, when you're just grinding in silence. That's where the real magic happens. There's something about those moments of solitude and dedication that are often overlooked, But in reality, that's where your true growth takes place. The work you do in silence, when you're not looking for approval or praise, is the work that will eventually speak for itself. In today's world, where instant gratification is the norm and social media amplifies everything we do, it's easy to feel like your efforts don't matter unless they're visible. We live in a time where everyone is sharing their wins, showing off their progress, and posting updates every step of the way. But the truth is, real success doesn't need to be constantly broadcasted to the world. Real success doesn't demand applause after every small step. What matters is the commitment you make when no one else is watching. Think about the quiet hours you spend honing your craft, perfecting your skills, and getting better every single day. It's the hours spent reading, practicing, working on your business, developing your knowledge, or doing the little things that will eventually pay off. Nobody's going to applaud you for those hours. They won't show up in your Instagram stories. No one's going to see those late nights or those early mornings. But that's exactly where your success starts. Success is built in those moments of quiet work, not in the moments of recognition. There's a special kind of power in silence. It's the power to focus, to push forward, to create without external distractions. It's the space where you can put your head down, get to work, and trust that the results will come, even if you're not receiving any attention or accolades right now. The world may not see your hard work, but what you're building is something far more valuable than temporary praise. You're building mastery. You're building resilience. You're building the foundation for lasting success. The beauty of this approach is that it teaches you to rely on yourself. When you're not dependent on outside validation to keep going, you become stronger, more determined, and more focused. You start to realize that the only person who needs to believe in your potential, your work, and your goals is you. In those moments when you're grinding away in silence, you're developing a kind of internal strength that can't be shaken by external opinions or fleeting recognition. Your success becomes about the work itself, not about how many likes or comments you get. Think about the people who have achieved great success throughout history. Do you think they were constantly posting their progress on social media or waiting for someone to pat them on the back after every little task? No, they were working in silence. They were doing the work, day in and day out, without needing validation at every step. They understood that the results would eventually speak for themselves. It's the quiet dedication that leads to the big breakthroughs, the extraordinary results, and the lasting legacy. When you're in the early stages of a journey, it can feel lonely. No one knows what you're doing. No one sees the effort you're putting in. But those moments are crucial. They're the foundation you're laying for something great. And one day, when the results finally do show up, when the breakthroughs happen, when you've created something that changes everything, everyone will look at you and say, wow, look at what they've accomplished. And they won't know about the silent hours, the sacrifices, the small victories that led to that big moment. They won't see the hard work that went into making that success possible. But you will. You'll know exactly what it took. Success is not an overnight thing. It's the sum of all the quiet, consistent work you put in behind the scenes. And here's the thing about that work. It's not just about doing tasks or checking things off a list. It's about becoming the kind of person who is willing to invest in their future without immediate returns. It's about trusting in the process, knowing that the effort you're putting in now is building something that will pay off in ways you can't yet see. It's about making the choice to focus on long-term results, even when you're not seeing short-term rewards. And the most powerful part of this is that when your work does finally show up, when the results start to come in, they'll speak for themselves in a way that nothing else could. You won't have to convince anyone of your value. You won't have to explain why you've been working so hard. The work will do the talking for you. The results will be undeniable. People will start to see the dedication, the commitment, and the growth that you've experienced. They'll look at what you've accomplished and know that it didn't happen by chance. It happened because you were willing to do the hard work in silence, without needing constant recognition or validation. So keep working, keep pushing, keep doing the things that matter, even when no one else sees it. Because the work you do in silence is the work that will define you. It's the work that will lead to the breakthroughs, the success, and the life you've been working toward. And when the time comes, when the results finally show up, you won't have to say a word. Your work will speak for itself. Number 6. If you can stay committed for 6 months, your life will change. You've heard it before. Success doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in a week. and it doesn't happen because you're motivated for a day or two. Success is built over time, and the real magic happens when you decide to commit to something for an extended period, despite the distractions, setbacks, and challenges that come along the way. Think about the last time you wanted something badly. Maybe it was to lose weight, to grow your business, or to improve your skills. You were excited at the beginning, but as time went on, the initial enthusiasm started to fade. It's easy to lose focus when you don't see instant results. It's tempting to give up when progress is slow or when life gets in the way. But here's the truth. If you can stay committed for just 6 months, your life will change in ways you never imagined. Commitment is the key to transformation. It's not enough to want something or to have the desire. It's not enough to talk about it or dream about it. You have to take consistent, meaningful action day in and day out. That's where most people fail. They start strong, they get excited, and then they fall off. The key difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't their intelligence or talent, but their ability to stick with it. You see, anyone can put in the work for a week or two, but if you can stick with it for 6 months, that's when the magic happens. Imagine for a second what would happen if you decided to commit to something for 6 months. It could be as simple as committing to working on yourself, building a new habit, or tackling a project you've been putting off. You don't have to have everything figured out. You don't have to see the full picture right now. All you need is a plan, a commitment to show up every day, and the determination to keep going, even when it gets tough. Now think about the person you want to become. Where do you see yourself in 6 months? Not in terms of results right away, but in terms of the person you've developed into. The growth that happens over the course of 6 months isn't just about the things you've accomplished. It's about who you've become. 6 months from now, you could have a new level of confidence, a higher level of discipline, and a mindset that keeps you going, no matter what challenges come your way. But none of that happens if you give up too soon. It's about making the choice to be consistent, even when it feels like you're not making progress, even when you don't see immediate results. The beauty of staying committed for 6 months is that it forces you to build new habits. And once you build those habits, they stick. They become part of your daily routine, and they start to compound. The effort you put in today may not pay off tomorrow, but trust me, it will pay off in the long run. It's like planting a seed. You don't plant a seed today and expect to see a full-grown tree tomorrow. But if you water it, nurture it, and take care of it every single day, over time, it grows into something amazing. Success works the same way. The work you put in now will grow into something far bigger than you can see right now. But here's the thing, this isn't easy. There will be days when you don't feel like showing up. There will be days when you feel like giving up, when you question whether it's worth it. But it's precisely in those moments that you have to push through. It's in those moments of doubt, fatigue, and uncertainty that you grow the most. That's when your commitment is truly tested. It's when you push through those moments and keep going that the magic happens. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment or when everything aligns. It's about showing up, even when the conditions aren't ideal, even when it's hard, even when you'd rather quit. That's the kind of commitment that changes lives. Think about the power of 6 months. It's not a long time when you really break it down. 6 months go by faster than you think. And if you're honest with yourself, you've probably wasted that amount of time before. So why not make this time count? Why not commit to something that will change your life? To something that will push you toward your goals? You've got 6 months. You can do anything for 6 months if you decide to. You just have to choose what you want and commit to it. The key is understanding that the results won't always be visible right away. The most successful people understand this. They don't get discouraged when they don't see instant results. They trust the process. They know that their daily efforts will eventually pay off. And over 6 months, those efforts compound. The changes may not be obvious at first, but the more you stay committed, the more momentum you build. The person you are 6 months from now will be a completely different version of yourself, a version that's stronger, wiser, and closer to your goals. What's most important is that you don't quit when it gets hard. When the excitement wears off and the novelty fades, that's when most people give up. But if you can keep going, if you can push through and continue to show up every day, that's when you start to see real change. Because the truth is, the hardest part isn't the work itself. The hardest part is showing up when it doesn't feel like anything's happening. It's pushing yourself when you can't see the immediate rewards. But that's the key. The work you put in now is building the foundation for everything that comes next. 6 months may seem like a long time, but it's actually a short period when you commit to it. It's a short period when you understand that success doesn't happen instantly. So if you can stay committed for 6 months, you'll look back and see how far you've come. You'll look back and realize that all of the effort, all of the struggles, and all of the challenges you faced were worth it. The growth you experience in just 6 months will be life-changing. So make the decision now. Choose to commit. Choose to stick with it, and let the next 6 months be the turning point in your life. Number 7. The hardest days are the most important. Don't waste them. The truth is, success doesn't come easy. If it did, everyone would be living their dream lives, right? But the fact is, the road to success is filled with challenges, setbacks, and obstacles that test your resolve. The hardest days are the ones that shape your future the most, even if you don't realize it in the moment. It's easy to look at those tough moments and want to throw in the towel. It's easy to think that because things aren't going your way, maybe you're not cut out for this after all. But I want you to understand something deep down. The hardest days are the most important. The struggles, the difficulties, the moments where you feel like you just can't go on. Those are the very moments that are pushing you closer to the person you need to become. Those are the moments that will ultimately shape your success if you don't waste them. We've all been there, haven't we? You set a goal, and at first, you're excited, you're motivated, and everything seems possible. But then, life happens. Problems come up. You face unexpected challenges. The people around you don't always support you the way you want them to. You feel tired, discouraged, and defeated. That's when most people stop. That's when most people decide it's not worth it anymore. But the truth is, that's when you need to push the hardest. Those are the moments that make the difference between someone who succeeds and someone who quits. I know it's easy to feel like giving up on those days. I know how it feels when everything seems to be working against you. But let me remind you, those hard days are not the days you're supposed to throw in the towel. Those are the days you're supposed to lean into. Those are the days when your growth is happening, even if you can't see it yet. It's easy to coast along when everything is going your way. But when the going gets tough, that's when you really have to show up. The hardest days are when your true character is formed. They are the days that build your mental toughness, your resilience, and your ability to handle whatever life throws at you. Without those hard days, you can't grow. Think about it like this. You can't build muscle by lifting the same weight over and over again. Your muscles grow when you challenge them, when you push them beyond their limits. It's the same with your personal growth. You don't grow when things are easy. You grow when you're pushed to your limits, when you're tested, when you're challenged. And the truth is, that's how success works too. It doesn't work by following an easy path. It works by walking through the fire, getting stronger, and learning from your struggles. If you waste the hard days, you waste your opportunity for growth. You waste your chance to become the person who can handle the challenges that success will bring. Think about the person you admire. Think about someone who has achieved something incredible in their life. You look at their success, and maybe you think it came easy for them. Maybe you think they were lucky, or that they were just born with something that made their journey easier. But the truth is, they had to go through their own set of hard days. They had to overcome obstacles, face rejection, and experience failure. They had days when they felt like giving up, but they didn't. They kept going, even when it was hard. And that's why they're where they are today. If you want to get to where they are, you have to do what they did. You have to show up on the hard days. You have to be willing to face the challenges head on and keep pushing forward. It's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It's about showing up, even when you don't feel like it. It's about doing the work when it's the last thing you want to do. That's how you build the strength to get through anything that comes your way. It's easy to work when everything is going well, but it's when things get tough that you find out what you're really made of. The hardest days are the ones that separate the dreamers from the doers. The ones that separate those who talk about success from those who actually achieve it. So what do you do on those hard days? First, you acknowledge them. You don't pretend like they aren't happening. You don't push them down and hope they go away. You accept that they are a part of the journey. The hard days are inevitable. Everyone who has achieved anything worthwhile has faced them. You are not alone in this struggle. Second, you don't let them define you. Just because you're having a tough day doesn't mean you are a failure. It just means you're human, and it means that you are being tested. The real test is how you respond to the struggle. The third thing you do is keep moving forward, even if it's just one small step at a time. Progress is still progress, even if it doesn't feel like much. Keep moving forward, and before you know it, those hard days will be behind you, and you'll be stronger for it. The hardest days are also the days when you have the chance to prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. Those are the days that test your resolve. They test your commitment. They test your passion. And when you push through them, you come out the other side as a stronger, more capable person. But if you decide to give up, if you waste those days, you rob yourself of that opportunity for growth. You rob yourself of the chance to become the person you were meant to be. So the next time you face a tough day, don't waste it. Don't let it defeat you. Embrace it. Use it as an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become stronger. Don't let the hard days break you. Let them shape you into the person you need to be to achieve the life you want. The hardest days are the most important days in your journey. Don't waste them, embrace them, and keep moving forward. Because on the other side of those hard days is a future you've been working toward all along. Number 8, no one respects effort without results. Make it count. You can work as hard as you want. You can put in the hours, you can sacrifice, and you can push yourself every single day. But here's the truth. No one respects effort without results. It doesn't matter how much sweat you pour into the grind, or how many nights you stay up working toward your goals. If there's no outcome, if there's no tangible result that shows you've made progress, all that effort is going to be wasted. It's like running on a treadmill. You're moving, but you're not getting anywhere. No one can respect that. And if you want to make your efforts count, you have to make sure that every single ounce of energy you put into something actually leads somewhere, that it's moving you closer to the success you dream about. Think about it. How many people do you know who have worked their entire lives, but never seem to get the results they want? You've seen it before. People are putting in their best effort, day in and day out, but they're stuck. It's not that they don't work hard enough. It's that their efforts aren't yielding the right results. And without those results, the hard work becomes invisible to everyone else. People start to think you're just spinning your wheels. They see the effort, but they don't see any real change, any tangible outcomes. And let's be honest, the world doesn't respect effort without results. It's the results that get noticed. It's the results that people respect. It's the results that make the difference. This is why so many people get frustrated. They work their butts off, but they don't see the results. They think they're doing everything right. They think they're putting in the time. But the truth is, effort alone doesn't get you anywhere. You can't just keep putting in the work without having a plan for achieving something with that work, without a strategy for turning that effort into something real, something that people can see and measure. All your hard work will go unnoticed. No one will respect the work you're doing if it doesn't lead to something that makes a real impact. And trust me, no matter how much you want to believe the effort alone is enough, deep down, you know it's not. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle, especially when you're determined to succeed. But here's where most people go wrong. They focus too much on the hustle without understanding the bigger picture. They think that as long as they're busy, as long as they're putting in hours, as long as they're running from one task to the next, they're going to get ahead. But you can't just be busy for the sake of being busy. You have to be productive. And there's a huge difference between the two. Effort without direction is just noise. It's movement without purpose. It's like throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something sticks. If you want to be respected, if you want your efforts to actually count, you need results. But how do you get those results? It starts with clarity. You need to know exactly what you're working toward. You need to have a vision for what success looks like, and then make sure that everything you do is aligned with that vision. Every effort, every hour of work, every moment of your time must be spent with the intention of moving you closer to that result. You can't afford to waste time on things that don't move you forward. You can't afford to spin your wheels on tasks that don't have a measurable outcome. When you focus on what matters, when you focus on the result you're working toward, that's when your efforts begin to pay off. People respect results. They respect progress. They respect outcomes. And that's what you need to focus on, getting results. But here's the kicker. Results don't just magically appear. They're not handed to you on a silver platter. They come from consistent, intentional work. You have to stay committed, even when it's hard, even when you're tired, even when you feel like the results are taking forever to show up. That's the difference between someone who just works hard and someone who gets results. The person who gets results keeps going. They stay the course, even when it feels like they're not making progress. They understand that the results will come if they keep putting in the effort in the right direction. Now let's talk about how you actually make your efforts count. First, you need to understand that nothing worth having comes easy. You're not going to get the results you want without putting in the time, the work, and the dedication. But that work has to be smart. It has to be intentional. That's where so many people go wrong. They work hard, but they work on the wrong things. They focus on tasks that don't bring them any closer to their goals. They put in hours and hours of effort, but they're not working on the right things. They're not focusing on the high-value tasks that actually move the needle. If you want results, you have to focus on what really matters. You have to identify the tasks that will make the biggest impact and pour all your energy into those tasks. Don't waste time on low-impact activities. Don't waste your energy on things that don't matter. Instead, be strategic with your effort. Put your time, energy, and focus into tasks that lead directly to the outcome you're striving for. When you do that, the results will follow. And here's the thing, when the results start showing up, people will start noticing. People will start respecting the work you've done. They'll see the outcome, and they'll recognize the effort that went into it. But they won't respect the effort without seeing the results. No one cares how hard you worked if they can't see the fruits of your labor. It's like showing up at a job interview and saying you've worked 60 hours a week, but you don't have any tangible results to show for it. The interviewer isn't going to be impressed by your effort. They're going to want to see what you've accomplished with that effort. They're going to want to see how your hard work has translated into something real. So as you move forward in your life, remember this: effort without results is just noise. If you want to be respected, if you want your hard work to pay off, you need to focus on getting results. You need to align your efforts with your goals and make sure that everything you do is moving you closer to the finish line. Results are what matter. They're what get noticed. They're what earn you the respect you deserve. Keep your eyes on the prize. Stay focused on your goals and make every effort count, because at the end of the day, it's the results that speak for themselves. Number 9, your life will only change when you take full responsibility. There comes a moment in every person's life when they realize that the only way to change everything is by taking full responsibility. No more blaming the world. No more pointing fingers. No more playing the victim. You have to face the cold, hard truth that your life, your choices, and your future are entirely in your hands. No one else is coming to save you, and no one else is responsible for your happiness or success. The moment you take full responsibility for everything in your life is the moment you unlock the door to true transformation. It doesn't matter where you are right now. It doesn't matter what circumstances you've been handed or what challenges you're facing. You might be in a tough spot. You might have made some bad decisions along the way, but none of that matters unless you take full responsibility for your current situation. Because as long as you keep blaming others, as long as you keep shifting the responsibility, you'll never change. You'll stay stuck. You'll continue to make excuses, and nothing will improve. But the moment you stop looking for someone to blame and start looking at how you can take control of your life, that's when the real change happens. Taking full responsibility is not just about acknowledging your mistakes or taking ownership of your actions. It's about understanding that everything in your life is the result of your choices, your decisions, your habits, your mindset. And when you take full responsibility, you stop waiting for things to happen. You stop waiting for life to hand you the perfect circumstances. Instead, you take action. You start making the decisions that will move you forward, no matter how uncomfortable it is. You understand that you are the only one who can change your life. And that, my friend, is the first and most powerful step toward creating a future that aligns with your dreams. Now, I get it. It's easier to blame others. It's easier to say, if only I had different circumstances, or if only this person hadn't done that. But those kinds of thoughts keep you stuck in the past, trapped in the cycle of frustration and disappointment. The truth is, the people who succeed in life are the ones who refuse to play the blame game. They don't waste time complaining about what's wrong. They take responsibility for their part in the situation, learn from it, and move on. They use their mistakes as stepping stones, not as reasons to give up. And here's the thing about taking responsibility. It's empowering. When you stop blaming others, you stop giving your power away. You stop allowing other people or situations to control your emotions, your actions, and your outcomes. You take your power back. You get to decide how you react to life. You get to decide how you handle setbacks. You get to choose your path, even when things aren't going your way. And once you realize that, once you understand that your choices are the ones shaping your life, you'll start to see everything change around you. You see, when you take responsibility, you stop waiting for things to happen to you, and you start making things happen. You take ownership of your future. You understand that success doesn't just fall into your lap. It's not handed to you on a silver platter. Success is the result of daily decisions, actions, and a relentless commitment to moving forward. And when you take responsibility, you become the creator of your life. You become the architect of your future. Every small choice you make adds up, and over time, those choices lead to the life you want. But let's be real for a second. Taking full responsibility isn't easy. It requires you to let go of the excuses, the justifications, and the comfort of blaming others. It requires you to look in the mirror and ask yourself some tough questions. What have I done to contribute to this situation? What could I have done differently? What am I going to do right now to change my circumstances? These are uncomfortable questions, but they're necessary if you want to grow. The only way to improve is to acknowledge where you are and take the necessary steps to get where you want to go. When you take responsibility, you also take control of your mindset. Instead of seeing obstacles as reasons to quit, you begin to see them as opportunities to learn and grow. You stop being afraid of failure because you realize that failure is just a part of the process. It's not the end of the road. It's a lesson that will help you get closer to your goals. And when you take full responsibility for your mindset, you stop letting negative thoughts dictate your actions. You stop letting fear, doubt, and insecurity hold you back. Instead, you build a mindset of strength, resilience, and determination. Let's not forget that taking full responsibility is also about understanding that you can change your life at any time. No matter where you are, no matter what mistakes you've made, you have the power to start fresh. You can choose today to take responsibility for your life and begin making different choices. The moment you take responsibility, you stop being a passenger in your own life. You stop letting life happen to you, and you start making life happen for you. One of the most powerful shifts you'll experience when you take full responsibility is the shift from being reactive to being proactive. You stop waiting for things to fall into place. You stop letting life throw punches at you without fighting back. Instead, you take the initiative. You make things happen. You plan your future. You work for your dreams. And you don't let anything or anyone get in your way. When you take full responsibility, your world starts to change in ways you never imagined. Doors begin to open, opportunities start to present themselves, and you begin to attract the right people and situations into your life. It's not magic, it's the result of being in control of your own destiny. And when you're in control, you're no longer a victim of your circumstances. You become the creator of your circumstances. If you're serious about changing your life, then it's time to step up and take full responsibility. Stop waiting for someone else to fix your problems. Stop looking for excuses or reasons why things aren't working. Take ownership of your life, your choices, and your future. When you do that, everything will change. You'll start moving in the direction of your dreams, and nothing will be able to stop you. So take a deep breath, look yourself in the mirror, and commit to taking full responsibility for everything in your life. It's time to stop waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is now. The power to change is in your hands. The moment you take full responsibility is the moment your life begins to transform. It's time to stop blaming, stop complaining, and start creating the life you deserve. The change you want is in your hands. Grab it, own it, and make it happen. Number 10. 1 hour of focused work beats 10 hours of wasted time. It's easy to think that if you just put in more time, success will follow. You might feel like if you work longer hours, Eventually you'll reach your goals. But here's the truth. Time is not the issue. Focus is. 1 hour of focused, deliberate work can accomplish far more than 10 hours of wasted, distracted time. That's the secret. The key to moving forward, to seeing real results in your life, is not about how much time you spend, but how effectively you use the time you have. Let's think about it for a second. How many times have you sat down to work, only to find yourself distracted? You check your phone, you scroll through social media, you respond to messages, and before you know it, hours have passed. You feel like you've been busy, but when you look at the work you've done, it's practically nothing. You might have spent the whole day in work mode, but your progress is minimal. That's what happens when you let distractions take over. Time gets wasted, and the work doesn't move forward. Now imagine you had 1 hour where you were 100% focused. No distractions, no social media, no phone calls. Just you and the task at hand. That hour would be packed with productivity, with results, and with forward movement. Think about how much you could get done in that hour. How much progress you could make towards your goals. When you work with focus, everything changes. That single hour becomes more valuable than 10 hours spent in a haze of distraction and wasted effort. The power of focused work is something that successful people understand on a deep level. They know that success doesn't come from working longer hours. It comes from working with intention. It comes from being fully present in the moment, giving all your attention to the task at hand, and doing it with purpose. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. When you focus your energy on the right things, the results will speak for themselves. The truth is, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. No one gets more time. No one gets less. What sets successful people apart is how they use that time. They understand that time is precious, and they don't waste it. They know that if they want to see real results, they need to be intentional with their time. And the way to do that is through focused work. When you commit to putting your full energy into something for a set period of time, you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish. But here's the problem. We live in a world full of distractions. We have constant notifications, emails, and messages pulling our attention in 1,000 different directions. It's easy to get sidetracked and lose focus. But the reality is that every time you give in to those distractions, you lose precious time that you can never get back. And the more time you waste, the harder it becomes to stay motivated, to stay on track, and to see real progress. So what can you do about it? How can you harness the power of focus to make the most of your time? It starts with setting boundaries. You need to eliminate the distractions that keep you from doing your best work. Turn off your phone, close unnecessary tabs on your computer, and set a specific time to focus on the task at hand. It's amazing how much more you can get done when you commit to working without interruptions. Another key to staying focused is setting clear goals. When you know exactly what you're working toward, it becomes easier to stay on track. It's easier to stay motivated because you have a clear vision of what you want to accomplish. Break your tasks down into manageable chunks and focus on completing one thing at a time. When you have a clear goal in mind and a plan for how to achieve it, it's much easier to stay focused and make the most of your time. But it's not just about being productive. It's also about the quality of your work. 1 hour of focused work means you're giving your best effort, your full attention, and your full energy to what you're doing. And when you give your best, the results will always be better. You'll find that you do better work in less time. You'll make fewer mistakes, you'll solve problems faster, and you'll create something you're proud of. This is the secret that top performers know. It's not about working harder. It's about working with purpose. It's about making every moment count. And when you embrace the power of focus, you'll start to see your work transform. You'll start to see real progress, and you'll start to see your goals become achievable. But here's the hard truth. To do this, you have to commit. You have to make the decision to focus and to eliminate distractions. You have to decide that your goals are worth more than a few minutes of scrolling through social media. You have to choose to be present and to give your full energy to the work that matters. And when you do, you'll see how much more you can accomplish in just 1 hour than you ever thought possible. The reality is that we all have limited time. We can't afford to waste it. Every day that goes by is a day that we'll never get back. That's why it's so important to use our time wisely. Focused work is the key to making the most of every moment. It's about making sure that when you're working, you're truly working. You're not just filling time. You're making progress. You're moving closer to your goals, one focused hour at a time. So the next time you find yourself tempted by distractions, Remember this, 1 hour of focused work is worth more than 10 hours of wasted time. And when you commit to making every hour count, you'll start to see results that will change your life. Success doesn't come from working longer hours. It comes from working smarter, from working with purpose, and from making every moment count. That's the key to achieving your dreams. And it starts with focusing on what matters most. As we wrap up, I want you to remember this. You are closer to your goals than you think. It's not some far-off dream. It's right there within your reach. But it all comes down to the choices you make and the actions you take. If you've been waiting for the perfect moment, let this be the moment you decide to act. Success doesn't wait for anyone, but it's always there for those who are willing to do what it takes. Don't let fear or doubt hold you back. The next step you take today could be the one that changes everything for you. Keep pushing, keep growing, and trust in yourself. Remember, the path to success isn't about making everything perfect. It's about making progress. So take that next step, even if it's small. Every single action you take moves you closer to where you want to be. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't yet, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Keep believing in your potential, and keep working towards your future. Success is waiting, and it's closer than you think.